From this point last year, we've had over a 200% increase in discipline from the company. And it's not that our members are doing anything wrong, it's the company ticky-tack things.
The facts, dates, and events presented in this video are from the members' best recollection and may not be fully accurate. This video is intended for entertainment purposes only. Always consult with your local union about your rights and duties at your workplace. The opinions shared on this video are our own and do not necessarily represent my employer's positions, strategies, or opinions. All views shared are protected under the National Labor Relations Act.
What is going on, everybody? So today I have Norm, business agent out of Local 623 in Philadelphia, and I have Greg Kerwood out of Local 25 in Boston. And we're going to be covering not just the discipline going on, but right now we have a lot of drivers out there that are being followed by management. We've covered this once before, a couple years back. All three of us have probably accumulated 200 plus warning letters from all this. I'll be honest with you guys. One of the main reasons, or the main reason I got involved with the union, is because I was followed around every day and given petty discipline, and it does a number on you. But you know what? This is why we're here. We're here to try to educate you on what to do if this happens to you. So let's just kick right into it. Norm, now, you're a business agent out of 623 in Philadelphia. Have you noticed an uptick in discipline lately?
Yeah, one of our office staff, he tracks all of the discipline that comes in. From this point last year, we've had over a 200% increase in discipline from the company. And it's not that our members are doing anything wrong, it's the company ticky-tack things. They're making things up. It's really unbelievable, but the contract is done. So the company's on a warpath now.
Let's get into exactly what is the company looking for when they decide to follow somebody. How do they decide who to follow, and what are they looking for when they get out there?
Well, it depends on what they're looking to do. If they're trying to intimidate people, they're going to follow the people that they think are most susceptible to intimidation. If they're trying to actually nail people, they're going to follow people that they know or have strong suspicions that they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing. They can see a lot on their computer systems. They can't discipline from it, but it can give them a pretty good insight as to who's doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. Once they get out there on the road, they're going to look for any methods violations to begin with. Simple stuff, bulkhead doors, seat belts, whether you're sheeting packages correctly, if you're tossing them from the sidewalk up to the porch, crazy stuff like that. How you get in and out of the vehicle. If they can't find those obvious things, that's when they start to get into the more ridiculous stuff, like failing to move without delay, or your stop car routine is too slow, or your start car routine is too slow, or you didn't turn exactly parallel to the bulkhead door when you closed it. Like Norm said, just ticky-tack stuff. But they're sent out there with the obligation to find something, and they're going to find something, whether it's valid or important or not. So the important thing is, once you figure out that they're following you, is just keep your cool and do what you're supposed to do.
The only other thing I would add to that is necessarily when they go out there, I've always noticed that they try to hit people that maybe are close to the building. They usually don't want to drive an hour out to follow somebody unless you're really on their radar. And Greg's 100% right. They'll use the telematics and see if you're maybe you get in your bad routines. I think we all do it. Is like some people can go out there and then maybe they fall into a bad set of like, oh, I'm going to stop at this gas station and buy me a Coke and a candy bar. And they do that every day on the clock. Well, management can see that and they will follow you out there. They won't even follow you. They'll usually wait in the parking lot until you actually do it. And they'll videotape you coming out with all this stuff in hand and that you're on the clock. And guess what? At that point, they got you for stealing time. So this is a huge time right now to make sure we do everything by the book. I mean, absolutely do everything by the book right now. Now, this can make people feel like they're walking on eggshells. I'm going to throw this to Norm. We're going to be talking about the discipline, the Tic Tac discipline. What should you be actually worried about with this discipline, and what should you just take it as it is?
All right, the first thing is you want to keep your mouth shut. A lot of times, as we all know, any seasoned UPSer knows that management is looking for a reason to discipline. And if you go in there talking, thinking that you're pleading your case, no, you're hurting yourself. Keep your mouth shut. Invoke your Weingarten rights. That should be the first thing. Hey, what's going on? What are we talking about? I want union representation. I want my shop steward. I want a business agent. You don't say anything. If they don't get that, you have to file your grievance after that. You keep your mouth shut in the meeting. This is not saying that you're less of a man, less of a woman, less of a person, less than anything. No, you wouldn't go all and mouth off to the police, would you? This is like talking to the police. I've said this before and I will continue to say it. You pay your dues. You are a member of the Teamsters. You're part of the Teamster family. Exercise those rights. Keep your mouth shut. You don't say anything. If you don't say anything, then they can't say, okay, well, you said this and you should have done that. A lot of times we speak and we give them, okay, I was looking for something to discipline you on, and you just gave it to me on what you said. You keep your mouth shut. That's the most important thing.
And now, let's say I use my Weingarten rights, and let's just say I'm in the office, right? And let's just say, for instance, they got me for not using my hazards when I was making a delivery, or not using 3 points of contact. And what scenarios is this something I need to legitimately be worried about, and what scenarios is it not?
What I would do when I was still driving is I would practice my 3 points of contact. I would practice my 10-point commentary all day long. Was I perfect? No, nobody's perfect, and the company expects perfection. But if you're going to ride along, they tell you we have to find so many things wrong. We can't let you be perfect, which is crazy in itself. But a lot of stuff they'll try to say there's something wrong. Disagree with them. Disagree through your union representation. Call a caucus. Walk out. Hey, we need to go talk about this. Don't feel pressure to answer anything by the company. Don't feel pressure by them threatening you with discipline. Once again, I'm going to say it. Grieve everything. You should be disagreeing with everything that they found wrong on your ride. When they go to review it with you and your stop store, no, I disagree with that. I did that right. No, I disagree with that. I didn't see what you saw. I did everything right. I'm not saying that we're perfect, but we're not as bad as management makes us out to see.
I just remember back when I went through this, I made deliveries next to the building. I had a driver soup at the time that made it a goal to try to write me up every day. So eventually, no matter how flawless I did the job, I was literally had a binder of intent to terms. I still work here, so that gives you a hint. But the thing is that you got to understand how progressive discipline works, right? If you may forget things. We're not perfect, as Norm just said. So if you forget to do 3 points of contact and they give you a warning letter for that, okay, well, start doing it from that point on. And then, they like to lump everything under the same discipline, failure to follow instructions. And you just got to keep in mind that don't get caught up in all that. Each infraction is something different. Now, Greg, is there anything you want to kind of add to this? Because I know this is going to be a huge thing coming forward.
Yeah, I'd say it's very important to keep your cool. The primary goal of this, for in most cases, not all, is not to actually cost you your job, but to intimidate you into sort of doing whatever it is that they want you to do whenever they want you to do it. The methods are your protection. You follow them to the best of your ability. Make sure you know them. But the other side of the coin is, a lot of times they're calling you out on stuff because they want the fight. They want to get you fired up. They want to get you to say things you're not supposed to say. They want you to deny things that they have evidence that you did. And there's no reason to do that. A lot of times members will call me and say, this just happened. What do I do? And most of the time I'm going to say, just tell them, right? If that's what happened, just tell them this is what happened. And that sort of, pulls the rug out from under their feet, because then, they can't go down this road of, you weren't honest about it. You weren't open about it. As Norm said, we're all human. None of us are perfect. None of us, can go out there and work 9-10 hours a day and not make a mistake. And if something happens, if you're upfront and honest about it, that takes away their opportunity to try to catch you in a lie or get you angry or anything else. But I think the most important thing is really just keep your composure, understand that you're never going to be perfect. But at the same time, you have an obligation to know the methods and follow them to the best of your ability. And the more you know, the better off you're going to be. Because 9 times out of 10, they don't know them. They're making them up. And so if you know them, you have the advantage in those conversations in the office, because you know what the methods are and they don't. And so they'll try to discipline you for something that doesn't even exist. I mean, I was actually given a warning letter once, or I might have been terminated, I forget, for using my flashers when I pulled over. And the division manager claimed it was a DOT violation, which he completely made up. But my response to him was, well, I don't understand that, because that was the safety tip of the month last month. And that completely blew his argument. But, knowing those things is really what gives you the advantage, knowing what the rules of the game are.
All right. So just to let everybody know, we all have stories and they're all lengthy, and it's too lengthy to put in this video. But what we're going to end up doing is releasing another video later on in the week. But so exactly what to expect and how to handle yourself. And we came out alive. We're doing well. Is it a lot of pressure? Yes. Is it life-changing pressure? In my opinion, yes. It made me, for instance, I wasn't really invested in the union, and this made me invest in the union. And also keep in mind that, not all routes are built the same. Like the route I'm currently on right now it plans well. Like I have no issues. Like everything goes smooth. But you could be on a heavily commercialized route that has a horrible time study, and you could easily be 3-4 hours over allowed with even busting your ass just because they're that poorly planned. So just keep that in mind. Anyways. So if you haven't done so already, add 623 Lives Matter on Facebook, Instagram, all social medias. And then the newly revamped, the 2023 Contract Enforcement Facebook page. It's been revamped, rehauled. It got a facelift. Greg, great job working on that. Shout outs. Norm, I'm going to throw it to you first. Shout outs. Who do you want to shout out tonight?
I'm going to shout out just everybody in our local at 623 here in Philly. And definitely, I want to add one more to the UAW workers. Hey, we got your back. You need us, call us. We'll be there for you.
Greg, shout outs. Who do you want to shout out?
I don't know if we can both shout out the same thing, but obviously we have to give a shout out to the UAW and to the UAW leadership. I think the strategy of, the random pickets at different locations popping up and going away has really thrown the big 3 companies for a loop. And I think that's going to allow them to stretch their resources much further and hold out against these companies much longer. Obviously, as Teamsters, we don't cross picket lines. If you see a picket line out there, let management know and ask them how they want you to sheet the packages, because under no circumstances are you crossing that line. That's one of the big benefits of our contract, and it allows us to support our brothers and sisters in the labor movement. So big shout out to them, and we want them to know that we have their backs 100%.
Absolutely, and I'm going to have to give a shout out as well to the UAW. I mean, these automakers are making billions and billions of dollars. The CEO of GM made $29 million last year. So there's no reason why they can't share the wealth for the people that made them that wealth. Anyways, that's all I got. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.